Welcome to FBB Forum. If you like this content, please be sure to like and subscribe to YouTube and Instagram. I'm very pleased to welcome the stunning IFBB Pro women's physique competitor, Winsome White, to the podcast. Winsome most recently competed at the Atlantic Coast Pro in Fort Lauderdale, where she placed in the top four against a stacked class of ladies. And she competed in her first Olympia in 2022 and placed in the top 10 there. Winsome, I personally think she has one of the best posing routines I've ever seen and just has amazing flow on stage. So welcome, Winsome. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
And I was curious, did you have an athletic or sports background before you started in bodybuilding?
No, I actually don't, but in my family, a lot of people are very athletic, you know. My cousin's an MMA fighter. I have a gymnast cousin. I guess I just was fascinated with muscles.
Very cool. How long have you been bodybuilding?
Well, actually started bodybuilding at a young age and then I left over 13 years. I left for 13 years, came back into bodybuilding after I had my son, and basically been bodybuilding since 2019 till now.
Oh, very cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
When you competed, did you compete before back there, in the previous period?
Um, I competed a few times, and back then they didn't have women physique. They had just straight bodybuilding. My
Oh, yeah.
last show was like in 2006. Yeah, it was 2006 back then that I did my last show, and I actually qualified for the nationals, but I didn't move forward with it because I was 24 years old. I was like, shoot,
Wow.
I need to have fun. This is, you know what I'm saying? It's either you have fun now or and then you come back later when you get older and you're really serious.
Yeah.
And then after I had my son, I came back. I was like, it's never too late. And they had women's physique, and I felt like it was perfect for me.
Yeah. Oh, totally. I think that's true. Very true. Yeah, it's nice that when those divisions got added, and yeah, I think different body types and
Yeah,
yeah, it's really good. I think to have that kind of splitting beyond women's bodybuilding.
yeah. The only difference is now the conditioning is just mind blowing now. The type
Yeah.
of conditioning we have to come in.
That's true. And sometimes the size is really comparable to women's bodybuilding too.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's very much of a thin line, I think, at this point. You
Mhm.
know,
I agree with you on that. I was curious when you first started, did you have like a fitness or bodybuilding role model?
oh, actually, I remember I went to Miami for the first time. I was 20 years old. I seen the girls on the beach and I was like, oh my God, they got abs. And I came back to New York and I was determined. I didn't know how to eat diet or anything. So I was just like, I just was determined. I bumped into a guy in the gym by the name of Leroy, and he looked like a bodybuilder. I was like, wow. So I tapped him on the shoulder. He had his big headphones on, and he was like, I said, excuse me, sir, could you help me? And then that's how it all started. We became best friends, and
Okay.
he got me into fitness and bodybuilding. Ever since that, I just ran with it. I've always been well aware of fitness, health. He taught me everything. He passed away in 2020.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Wow,
that was
sounds
my
like
best friend.
he was a good mentor to you too.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's really cool that you got started that way. But yeah, um, I was curious if there's any women that you looked up to too, like in terms of like Iris Kyle or some of the early bodybuilders.
Oh, when I see Linda Murray's physique and everybody's physique, I was like, wow, so beautiful. Like, you could be feminine and still have muscles. Like, I felt like I was obsessed with that. I was like, oh my God, being feminine and having muscles is like, it was so much. I wanted it so bad, but I was so young. So I knew that it would take me time. Never did I actually thought that I would actually make it to that level to become a pro until 2020. I was determined when my friend passed away. He asked me, he said to me straight up and down, he's like, listen, he said, the girls are going to be hard. I said to him, and I'm going to be just as hard. Like, to try to say, he's like, naturals is hard. I said, I'm going to be hard too. And then I was determined to win that pro card for him. But the females like Linda Murray, like, you know, I looked up to her. I just loved that shape that she had.
Oh, me too. Yeah, she's amazing. I love the fact that she still comes to the shows. She's so
Yeah,
sweet and she's so open, you know, the fans and everybody. She's really cool. Yeah.
yeah, she is.
I was curious when you first started competing, were you kind of nervous getting on stage? Because I would think getting up on the
Oh,
stage in a bikini would be kind of nerve-wracking.
I'm always nervous. I am every time I step on stage, nobody knows it, but I'm nervous. I cheese extra hard. I'm nervous. When you see me cheese extra hard, I'm nervous, but I'm just like, okay, you gotta stay. I'll be in my head like, calm down, calm down. The first time I went on stage, I thought that I looked good, but then when you look back, you be like, whoa, I went on stage like that the first time.
You look
I
so
thought I was cut
confident
up.
when
Huh?
you're posing, though. You look so confident, you know.
Oh yeah. Listen, this time when I did that, my last posing routine, I actually made that myself. I was nervous, but I was determined to hit every pose that I practiced, and I wanted to hit it strong. I wanted to hit it with everything, the passion, and I love that song. That's an old. I think that I'm gonna start posing to my old school music, the '90s, '80s. That's my music. I love it.
Oh yeah, I like the old school stuff too, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that was a really good song too. But you,
yeah.
man, your flow is so good at Atlantic Coast, and you look so graceful up there. Yeah, just
Thank you.
like supremely confident. I just couldn't believe. Yeah, you just looked amazing.
Thank you. I actually woke up in the middle of the night. I was like, oh, that song. And I got up and I started posing, and it was just one shot. Like I just felt it. And that was a song.
Really? That's terrific.
Hmm.
Wow, very cool. Tell me which song was it again? I can't remember now.
Um, Lisa Fisher,
Lisa Fisher.
Ease
Yeah,
the Pain.
yeah, that was a great song, definitely.
Yeah, it was.
And at Atlantic Coast, I know you know you placed fourth in a really tough lineup, so it's great to be in top four. I was curious, what was your experience like there? Did you enjoy the show?
Well, I knew that it was going to be a battle because, you know, I didn't get a chance to make it on that Olympia stage this year.
Mhm.
And I was up there against, you know, three other contenders that made it to the Olympia. I knew I had to go up there and pose as strong as I possibly could and push as much as I can to, you know, stand out in that crowd. The girls was all phenomenal, but I gave it all I had. I wasn't even worried. I had to stay up confident, especially the last minute, you know, when you see certain people in the show like, oh my God, this wasn't on the list before.
Yeah, I know there was a little bit of surprise there. I think
Yeah,
a lot of folks
that
were
was a surprise.
surprised.
But it was
Yeah,
all good, you know. It was good to be compared to somebody like that because it actually shows you whether, okay, what do I need to improve? What should I come in next year as? What I might be lacking a little bit. And I was able to overall look at my physique and dissect myself next to these ladies. So it was an
yeah.
honor. It wasn't the placing that I wanted, but hey, you know,
No, I
it was,
agree with you. And actually, that is a good point about getting compared to some of the best like that, and to be up in the top five, and you know get to do your routine and everything.
that
So,
was my mini Olympia.
oh yeah, yeah. And well, you went to your first Olympia last year in 2022.
Yes.
What was your experience like there? I bet that was exciting.
Oh, I was so nervous. I was nervous and tired at the same time.
Really?
I was nervous and tired. You sitting at a booth and you're just sitting there looking around and everybody's just walking up and down. And you're like, hi, you know me. Hello. Nobody knows me. I'm watching everybody go over to Sarah's table. Sarah
Oh,
had a line. I had one or two people.
you mean at the meet and greet?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh,
I had one or two people come over there. I'm like, okay, when can I go now? Nobody knows me.
oh no. I'm gonna come by and see you.
Sarah had a whole line wrapped around her. I said, geez, she's an amazing person, though.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, I was pleased that she kind of regained her title too. It worked out pretty
Yeah,
well. She looked amazing this year for
yeah. She
sure.
didn't come. She didn't come to play this year.
I know, that's true. Yeah. No, and her conditioning is crazy. It was really good.
Hmm.
I was curious if you've gotten any feedback from judges in terms of where they would like you to improve your physique.
I got a little bit of feedback, like, you know, a little bit more, little lower lats, a little bit more lower lats, and, you know, a little bit more sweep. Nothing too much because my physique is I'm a short person. I'm like 5'1". So
Wow.
for me to put on muscle, you know, it could really take away. If I get too big, it will take away from my shape and my physique.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got to be careful putting on size because it could throw off the balance of your shape, you know?
Yeah. I
So
understand.
gradually I improve every year. So, you know, I'm going to give it my all as I always do every year and improve as best as I can.
I was thinking, just going back to last year, you won the Savannah Pro, right?
Yes,
I was thinking that show didn't even exist this year, and it,
I know.
yeah,
I
I know. It's
know.
like, it just seems like there's fewer and fewer opportunities for the women's physique and women's bodybuilding competitors to be,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
it's very slim.
I
There's not
know
that much shows.
that's true. Yeah, not many shows, and you you would, and one thing you had talked about on your live stream is you kind of have a strategy for picking a show, but you kind of like to keep private about it. But I was
Yeah.
just curious, kind of what is your strategy and why do you use that?
Well, once the list comes out, pretty much we got to count the time frame, you know, of how much weeks, you know,
Mhm.
and it's always good to make sure that your health is right, everything's functioning properly before you even get ready for another show, you know, because at the end of the day, we're women, you know, and being on so much caloric deficit, you know, we have to make sure that when we're done competing, we're all functioning properly. We have no health problems from eating so much protein all day, because that's a
Mhm.
lot of protein to consume for your kidneys and liver, you know?
That's true.
So you got to take care of that. And then pretty much we figure out, okay, what show should we do? And who competes in certain shows? You
Yeah.
know, because you know certain shows you go in, it's gonna be like, okay, you know, it's this person's show,
Mhm. Yeah.
you
I know
know.
what you mean. Yeah, you
So we
have to.
gotta be mindful, like, okay, we know this is for Chris. He got this show, so we don't want to go to that show. We're gonna go to the next one.
I totally understand that, and that's good to be strategic like that for sure. I think.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, in terms of the you had mentioned before we started, like how long of a prep do you usually or do or ideally would you
Oh,
do?
well, this year, what we didn't, we was worried about growing, so we didn't pay attention to time.
Mm,
And because of that, I actually prepped for the show that I did in Arizona. That was a 16-week prep.
okay.
And my body needs a longer prep to respond.
Mhm.
So moving forward with everything, when I start prepping, we probably prep around 24 weeks max,
Wow,
about 5 months, almost half the year.
that's tough. Oh my
I
gosh.
know, and I don't listen when I prep. You know, a lot of people are whiners. You know, because like I said, there's two different types of genetics. You know, there's girl. I have the big girl genetics. Like I'm naturally thick, so
Mhm.
I have to diet down all the way. Like I gotta stay on a caloric deficit all the time. I cannot have a refeed. I cannot have a cheat meal. I cannot do any of those stuff. I don't even whine to my coach because it's something that I want. You know, a lot of people probably cry like, "Oh, I look flat." Blah, blah, blah. Listen, you gotta trust your coach with anything and everything because this is who you're paying for your prep. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you tell your coach, I want it. I want this. I feel like I'm flat. You're confusing your coach. So I just leave it in her hands. I
Yeah,
follow through with it and I do what I got to do. If I got to suffer, I got to suffer because if I want it, I want it. This is what I paid you for, you know?
yeah, that's true. Yeah, you said you couldn't even have a French fry, huh?
Not even if it's one French fry, I'm going to blow up. My body hold water. She knows that I don't do, you know, sometimes I see girls go and have a burger. I can't even do a burger. I don't do burger. I stick to the diet. I diet all the way to the end of the show.
Really? Wow,
Yes.
that's impressive. Wow.
Savannah last year when I came off a stage, you know what I went back to the room to eat? 3 ounces of tilapia. That's it.
Really? Oh no.
while everybody else was carving up still, I had 3 ounces of tilapia
You
because
did
she was trying for me not to spill. She was like, we're going to come back drier.
no
My
shrimp
coach,
and
Sabah is something else. Like, she's amazing, though.
no shrimp and grits for you,
For real. Like, uh,
they got such good food in Savannah too. You probably missed out on good food.
yeah, listen, I ate that day. Like, I couldn't post a lot of those pictures because my stomach looked like I was 3 months pregnant after I left Savannah.
Um, now you mentioned you have a coach. What's your coach's name?
Sabah Sahid. Well, we named the team together. It's called Fem Gems.
Fem Gems. I like that. That sounds
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
yes.
And how long have you worked with her?
Well, I was working with her. I've been working with Sabah since 2020. I've known her since 2020. So we've been working, but she has been hands-on with me since 2022. She's been hands-on.
Great. Very
With
good.
just me and her now.
Okay. Terrific. Yeah. I'll make sure
Yeah.
to, if it's okay, I'll include her Instagram down
Oh,
below if
yeah.
folks want to reach out to her.
I love her. She's amazing. She's like a scientist.
Really? Cool. And I was curious if you have a posing coach or do you just do your own posing?
In the beginning, I did. I went to Kenny in the beginning when I was going for my pro card. I went to him, and then as time went on, I just kept on practicing on my own. I tried to book him a few times, but he's so booked, so it was hard for me to, get him. So I practice myself.
Have you considered doing a posing coach work with other clients? Because you could teach a thing or two about posing, I think.
I know that. Uh, it's awkward, trying to teach somebody how to pose. You like kick back just a little bit.
Uh-huh.
So it's a lot of work. I mean, maybe.
I think you'd be good at it. I'm just saying. Now, I was curious, what would you say is kind of the toughest aspect of the competition prep for you? Is it probably the diet and the
Oh yeah, the diet and getting my butt down. That's the toughest part,
yeah.
because for me, I cannot help it. That's the first place that I gain my weight. My butt and my hamstrings. Like, those are just get blown up out of. That's where most of the fat is in my body.
Oh,
So
that's
I'm like,
good.
oh gosh, there's no fighting it. I can't fight it from growing. It
Uh-huh.
don't matter. Like, it's like, listen, it has a mind of its own on the off season.
Yeah, I understand.
So, having to take it down is like, I got to do a lot of high intensity. I got to do a lot of stairmaster. I got to do a lot of movements, just focusing on the glutes, and I have to like burn them out.
Really? Yeah, I understand. Your glutes look good in recent Instagram pictures. You look great.
Thank you.
But I can see where, yeah, just trying to get it down. Yeah, that would be a lot
Oh gosh, it's a challenge.
I
That's
bet.
the stress factor right there. Everything else I could get down, but when it comes to that, I'll be like, Lord, please help me get this thing off of me.
I
I
understand.
can't compete with this, dear Lord. I can't.
uh, I totally understand. Yeah. Oh man. Do you when you're I can't remember when you're competing, do you get like the shredded glutes? Because I think that's really
I
hard
get
to get.
I don't get like extremely crazy striations, but I do have like striations, like separation on my glutes, but I don't have it to where, because I had booty. It's a difference. If I didn't have no butt, then maybe it would be popping out like, but because I had booty, I have to do the total opposite. The skin is kind of there, but you can see the lines on top of it lightly.
Yeah,
So
sure.
yeah.
That's very cool. Yeah. Um, I was curious, do you kind of have a hard time dealing with that transition between your competition shape and an off-season shape? Because I think, a lot of women have kind of like a body dysmorphia issues, but you kind of go through that too?
Um, when I'm off of the show competition, you go through for me, it's a sad situation because I don't have it extremely bad because I accept my body. I love my body every way, but it does bother me. I'm like, damn, why your ass gotta be so fat? Why you gotta have a butt looking like Kim Kardashian Vixen? Like, come on now. Like, some people wouldn't have a problem with that, but it bothers me getting ready for a show that my butt get that big, but that's the only dysmorphia that I would have. Everything else I could deal with, but that booty, I'd be like, Lord, here we go again. This butt, I'm walking around, everybody like, oh, your butt, look at it. Yeah, I know it's there. I see it every day. You know what I'm saying? When somebody's like, oh yeah, you got to get your butt. I know this. I live with my ass. For real.
So that's more butt dysmorphia than body dysmorphia. Huh.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's a dysmorphia to me, because I know it's there. And I'm like, Lord, I got to get this thing off. That's messed up. People want booty, and I'm like, Lord, I got to get it off.
No, that's true. Yeah, you're right. Oh man, that is kind of funny. Oh man, I was curious if you could give any advice to rising pros who are struggling with competition prep. Any advice you could give them?
My advice is, every prep, there's always going to be a challenge. There's always going to be something that pops up. It's like the off season goes through smoothly. Nothing happens. You're having a good time, relaxation. But in the middle of prep, there's always something that's going to happen that's going to try to throw you off. And everything's always a test on how bad you want it. And you just have to stay focused on the path. Nothing great comes easy. Mm-hmm. If it comes easy, everybody would have it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody would be there. Everybody would, be on top if it came that easy. Mm-hmm. Anything that you want, you have to work hard for and sacrifice and understand that you got to have extreme discipline, So if you want something bad, you're going to diet, not make no excuses, not come to your coach and, oh my God, please, I can't have like an extra rice cake. No, you just got to roll with the punches and trust your coach and your prep.
Okay, that's really good advice. I like that. Yeah, like I said before our call, you're stronger than me. I don't know if I can do the whole bodybuilding lifestyle, so I'm going to live vicariously through you guys, I
think. Yeah, you're like, yeah, go ahead. One rice cake. I'll have the other rest. I'll have the pack for you. Okay. I'll eat this just for you. Yeah, listen. I am so happy when I watch my friends eat. I'll be like, how does that taste? How does this taste? Sometimes I used to just cook and watch them eat because I knew I couldn't eat and I just wanted to smell the food.
Really?
So yeah, I live through y'all too when I see food.
I totally understand that. Oh man. Yeah, that would be kind of tough though, cooking like that and smelling the food. It'd be just too tempting, I think.
Listen, just to see it is a pleasure, you know what I'm saying? And to watch somebody eat it, because I know I can't eat it. So I just look like, oh, that looks so good. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's like you're eating, you see this chicken breast and turkey and tilapia all day. It's like, okay, I want to see something different. I know I can't eat it, but I could look at it.
Yeah, that's true. Watch food.
My friends tease me though. They're like, oh, you smell it, you're going to gain weight. You're going to hold water. You look at it, you're going to hold water.
No, there's nothing wrong with smelling it.
They're like, you're gonna hold water. You look at it, you're gonna hold water. I'm like,
I was curious, where do you live, and do you have a kind of a supportive bodybuilding community there?
Nah, not well. They have a bodybuilding community. They're spread out everywhere, but I'm in Brooklyn. I live in Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, cool.
I train at Bev's. And I occasionally go to a gym called Harbor Fitness around me, and I try to go to these gyms to just, be around the regular crowd, but to have folks. I'm a people person, so I try to switch it up a little bit because, believe it or not, every gym is just like people just make friends with me automatically. And then all of a sudden you try to walk out the gym and everybody like, hey, how you doing? And then you trying to get out of the gym like, okay, I got to go now. Hey, how you doing? I'm like, oh my God. So I try to spread out my horizons to go to different gyms so I could try to wear off that friendly aspect. But I love people in general.
That's great. Very
cool. And I let people talk my ears off. So I need to I need to spread out. And sometimes I put on that face when you go in there, when you go to a new gym, you like, okay, let me see how long I can hold this face.
Uh-huh.
Because I know somebody's gonna break me eventually. Let me hold this.
I see. I was thinking, do you get recognized at some of the gyms too, just because you've been placing so well lately?
Yeah, I get recognized by one or two people. I went
Mm,
to Florida and got recognized over there, and I walked in the gym, and it was like this person. It felt like they knew me. They were like, "Hey," I'm like, "Oh my god!"
really?
I thought that I actually really knew them in person. It's like
Mm,
the way they
oh,
approached me.
really? Wow.
I
That's really
thought we.
cool.
Hmm?
Oh, go ahead.
No, I just thought that they were like a back in the day. For the way that they approach me,
Mm,
I guess I have that friendly face. I don't know what it is. It's like,
uh-huh.
"Hey, girl, how you do?" I thought that I really knew them from back in the days or something.
Really? Oh, wow. That's pretty cool though. Maybe they knew you from the live streams too.
Yeah, they know me
You're
from
so,
Instagram.
yeah, you're so cool in the live streams. I enjoy those. Um, we only have a few minutes left. I want to ask you a quick, well, actually, that was my next question about your live streams you've been doing on Instagram, and I really enjoy those. But I like how you have kind of a no bullshit kind of personality, and I
Oh
think you're
yeah.
kind of funny sometimes too. But how long have you been doing the live streams like that?
I do them. I randomly do live streams. I randomly do it. I like to catch people out there midday. Either I'm driving to the gym in the mornings or the noons, or when I'm driving to the gym before I train. I like to go and chop it up and talk to people.
Oh,
I keep it 100. My personality is all this way. I'm just like this. This is me. This is me. I'm friendly. I'm cool. I'm regular.
yeah.
But no BS.
I like that. Yeah. Sometimes you get the creepy fans too. You gotta like shut them down.
Yeah, like now you're pushing it. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Somebody tried to get me today. Was like, "Hey, I sent you some money. Can I get some picture?" I said, "You know what? You're lying. So now this is the last conversation we'll ever have because I don't talk to liars." And
Oh
I,
yeah.
and I restricted them.
Good.
I
Yeah.
thought- they try to say whatever they can to get you to open it.
Uh-huh.
And I just said, I was like, because you're lying, I'm gonna open this and say something to you, but this is the last conversation. And then I'll go sneak back. Oh, I'll send you now. No, I'm not even opening that. I don't even want it. Bye.
I like that. I think that's good to do that. Yeah, there's just a lot of bullshit artists and trolls out there too.
Mhm.
Yeah. um, I was curious, besides the live streams, do you find it kind of hard to keep up with the demands of social media with like the DMs and people posting comments and such?
Yeah, sometimes it's hard, like, because I try my best not to be on there too much, but you go on there. I mainly go on there for motivational stuff, emotional stuff, stuff that's positive, or funny, silly stuff. But,
Mhm.
I try not to take social media too serious because social media is not real life.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You know, it's not
Mhm.
real life. Real life, people are not every
Mhm.
day. You know what I'm saying? People
Uh-huh.
are not, yay, 24/7. So I don't pay attention to social media too much.
Okay, that's good. Now, since we're running low on time, would you mind doing a quick flex for me?
Yes,
You gotta, wait, let me mute myself.
there we go.
Thank you, Winsome. You look great. Yeah, you look amazing, definitely. And
Thank you.
I'm really excited about your competing in 2024 too.
Oh man, 2024, man. Listen, every year I always have in my mind set to improve everything that I need to improve and what I focus to improve. Hopefully I can get back in connections with one of my old trainers who helped me in my first pro show. I hope I could connect with him. I've been trying to reach out to him for a while. He's an amazing trainer. If I could even see him once or twice a week, I'll do that. But pretty much, yeah, I am coming to annihilate 2024.
That's awesome.
I'm transforming like the Transformers.
That's awesome. I'm excited for you. I think it's going to cut us off here in a second. So I'm just going to wave goodbye, but it's so good to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
Thank you, Winsome.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.